In the previous class, we have learned some of the input devices, isn't it? So, how many type of input devices so far you have learned?
Many.
Seven.
Can you name some of them?
Uh,
Smart
keyboard,
card, touch screen, barcode
web
reader.
ICR, barcode reader,
And any other?
scanner,
What type of scanner?
micro, uh, A4.
For what type? Of
Printer yauba.
handheld
Printer
scanner, isn't it? There are some kind of scanner, flatbed scanner. So I think you all have forgotten the previous classes. So what happened to you? So the type of the input devices are OMR, OCR, MICR reader, isn't it? So you should try to remember it. So after that, we will be discussing the output devices. So basically, I know you all have know what is output devices. So you have already learned some of the output devices in your previous classes. That is when you are in class 4 5. But now you have to study furthermore about the output devices. So we will be first discussing about the plotter. So I have already teach you in the previous class, as this is a revision classes. Can you describe what is plotter? Anyone?
A plotter uh, is an output device which is used to receive uh, which is used to receive large output images
Last
from
output.
a computer.
In the output, also you have to receive last diagram or graph as input, and you have to give out the output. Okay. So uploader is basically an output device which is commonly used for generating graphic output like images, chart, graphs, blueprint, maps, circuit diagram, and many more other line-based diagram. That means the vector diagram. So I have told you the difference between the raster, sorry, not in your class, in other class. So there are two types of graphic. They are raster graphic and vector graphic. So the raster graphic, in which we consider about the images which contain the resolutions. Okay. So what is the resolution? Anyone?
The combination of many pixels and together they form an image.
Okay. Your concept is okay. Your concept is right. That means the combination or collections of pixels make a resolution. So if you want to increase the picture quality, you have to give the number of pixel to very large amount of pixel. That means the amount of pixels should be high. So let's say if I give you a resolution of 640 into 320, and I give you an resolution of 1080 into 720. So which image will have better picture quality?
1080 into 720.
Okay, very good. So that is the number of pixel in horizontal and vertical area. Okay. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Okay, after that, types of plotter. There are two types of plotter. They are drum plotter and flatbed plotter. So drum plotter basically produce continuous output such as plotting and earthquake. So what is the device to know the activity of the earthquake?
Richter scale.
Richter scale.
That is the scale. I mean to say, what is the device to measure earthquake?
Drum plotter.
There is a type of printer, but I want a specific name. It starts with S. Seismograph. Have you forgotten? Okay. Okay. After that, we use this drum plotter in the seismograph. So for long graphic output structures such as tall building structures and to draw to print any large chart. Okay. A drum plotter consists of a long cylinder known as drum. The paper that is to be printed is placed over the drum. The drum can be rotated clockwise or anti-clockwise to draw line. So if someone asks in which direction drum plotter rotates, then you can say in both directions, clockwise and anti-clockwise. After that, flat plate plotter. This plotter is used to design ship, aircraft, building, etc. etc ให้นะจะไปกว่า etc นะเปล่าเอาถ้วยในไทยนะเปล่าที่ etc นะเปล่ามีก่อนเปล่า etc นะเปล่าเวลามีก่อนมีมาโรนี่เราจะตามตาม pronunciation จะแค่เชงจะสิก่อน A flatbed plotter consists of a stationary rotational plotting the surface on which the paper is fixed. So basically, it consists a stationary. Stationary means which does not move. So name some stationary objects. Did you skip your geography classes? The sun is stationary, isn't it? It doesn't move.
Yes.
It doesn't move. Okay. So it consists, a flatbed plotter consists of a stationary horizontal plotting surface on which the paper is fixed. A pen mounted on a carriers move horizontally or vertically to draw lines. So basically, on a flat surface, a pen is mounted and it moves automatically to draw whatever which is given to draw. Okay, it can move in the directions of horizontal and vertical. So what is the difference between a drum plotter and a flatbed plotter? Anyone? So in the drum plotter, it uses long cylinder known as drum. But in flatbed plotter, we use a stationary horizontal plotting surface. This is the main difference. You have to understand it properly. So after that, LCD projector. You have seen LCD projector in your school and in cinema halls, isn't it? So basically, how does it work? Anyone? Can somebody tell me how the projector work?
It is connected to a computer.
Yes, it is connected to a computer and the image is projected on a white surface, isn't it? So in projector, it displays presentations which are used in several fields and seminars so that one can explain his idea to the public very easily. So if someone asks why we use slideshows and projector in a seminar or in a program, then what will be the answer? I have told you earlier.
It is used when the monitor cannot be used to show the presentation as the number of audience is large in number.
Hmm. Okay, very
So
good.
yes, on a screen.
And what about you, Sally? You are trying to say something.
So there was Sam.
It was Sam. Okay, very good. So the LCD projector is connected to a computer which run the presentation and the projector project the image on a flat surface like screen, board, etc. Okay. So now we are coming to a very important topic that is the software. So what is software? Tafani. Tafani didn't study. I have told you in the Zoom invitation to be prepared, isn't it? Did I say it? Did I say it or not? Although you didn't prepare. Okay, Langlen, what is software?
Software is a set of computer programs that refer
Okay,
that
that's fine.
refer
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That is fine. You have the basic concept that a software is a collections of computer program. That is a basic idea. So it is loaded to a computer so that one can function its processes and information according to the instructions given by the computer. So basically, if you want to do drawing, then you have to use a drawing application that is in Microsoft Windows. It comes with Microsoft Pen. So the Microsoft Pen is the software. Okay. So now the software is divided into two categories, that is system software and application software. So what is system software? So you have to follow the diagram in figure 1.10. So at the top of the figure, it is software. After that, it is divided to system software and application software. So in system software, we find device driver, operating system, language translator, system utility. And in the application software section, you can see word processor, presentation software, electronic spreadsheet, image editor, desktop publishing software, DBMS. So let's discuss system software first. So system software is the basic and the most important software of the computer system. Without this, a computer cannot work or run because it controls all the hardware and software of the computer system. Okay. So if someone asks, why do we need the system software? So what will be the answer?
because it controls all the hardware and software.
Okay, very good. So, system software refers to a set of programs that are designed to control operations of a computer system. That this system software have all the part of the computer, that is the peripheral devices of the computer, that is the hardware, to work together. In the simple word, it makes a computer functional. Okay, this is the most important thing about the system software. So the system software can be categorized into operating system. So what is operating system? That is the OS. It is the interface software which interact a computer with a user. Okay. This is the basic definition of a operating system. So what did I say about operating system? Prachi. You didn't listen carefully. Newton. Lydia. Okay, Sally can answer. Sally answer.
It interface with the computer with the user.
It is the interface, not it interface. It is the interface. Okay. It is the interface between the user and the computer. So there are device drivers. So if you want to run a hardware, then a driver is needed. So when you want to drive a car, so the car doesn't drive automatically, isn't it? It needs a driver so that the car can be moving. So basically in computer, if there is a hardware, then it needs a driver to run that hardware. So that driver is a system software. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Okay. So there is another thing that is language translator. So we will be discussing language translator after a few minutes, but I will be saying something about that. So language translator, why do we use language translator? Because computer doesn't understand what we say, what we talk, and what we type on a computer, because it only understand the binary digit, that is a 0 and a 1. So to make the computer understand what we say or what we type, it should be translate into a machine language that can be understood by the computer. Okay, are you getting my point?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, after that we come the system utility. So if you use the computer for very long period, the system may lag or hang up or become very heavy to perform. So you have to check their system errors, properly deformate the system drive, and there are some antivirus software which can check the virus and malwares also. So these are the system utilities tool. Okay. So we will be discussing device driver. So device driver, I have already said, device driver is a driver which can run the hardware which is connected to a computer. It is associated with its proper functioning. A driver acts as a translator between the device and the program that use the device. Underline the last sentence. Page number 6. Last sentence. So if someone asks, what is the function of a device driver? Then you can ask, you can say this answer. Munib, turn on your video. Okay, language translator. So I have told you earlier, computer understand only zeros and one, and that is known as the binary number or binary digit, binary language many times, but it includes only binary. So computer doesn't understand what we say or what we type on a computer. So in order to make the computer understand, we have to create a program or a software which can translate what we say into the computer. So there are two types of language we study or we will be discussing. They are high-level programming language and the low-level programming language. So at first, low-level programming language was introduced. After that, high-level programming languages are introduced. So what is low-level programming language? Anyone? Okay, low-level programming language are the programming language which is understood by the computer, but it is very complicated to understand by a user. So a new type of programming language was introduced that is known as the high-level language. So the high-level language, the programs and the instructions are written in our day-to-day life English language and English numbers. It can be 1 to infinity. Okay, but in binary language we have to write 0 1 0 0 0, combination of 0 and 1s. So the tool that perform the translation is called a language translator. There are different types of language translator. They are compiler, interpreter, and assembler. So I have already given the questions and answer of this type of language translator. So what are the difference between the compiler, interpreter, and assembler? Anyone? Oh no, you didn't go through. Wang Len,
ค่ะ
have you studied?
ปาริอีก
Okay, then say it out.
คุยชัดดูมายี่เชียงเนี่ยเต้าติ
What are the difference between the compiler, interpreter, and assembler?
โอ้compiler นะ para kano machine language to assembly language to machine language on to execute khudakta tawe aduga interpreter na para ni translator ne execute mathang manaw naina tawe loidri phoba aduga compiler na di mangonde hale to assembler di kaw
You didn't read very properly, isn't it? Is it right?
Compiler, it turns high-level language into machine language. Interpreter, it turns machine language into high-level languages. Assembler, it turns assembly language into machine language.
Your concept is not right, okay? They are all used to convert into machine language so that computer can understand, okay? It doesn't translate into high-level language, okay? So let's revise it again. A compiler program is written in high-level language. It converts the high-level language into machine language. It reads the whole program, okay, not line by line. It reads the whole program and translate the complete program at once into a series of machine language instruction. That is the 0 and the 1. That is the high-level language is converted into machine level language, that is 0 and the 1 in whole program, okay, not line by line or paragraph by paragraph, the whole. Once the compile, the program normally gets saved automatically and can be executed directly. So if the compiler translate the high level language into machine level language, then it automatically save and execute directly. Yan tabo ngambro.
Ngami.
High level language tagi machine level language to on gani point number 1. Point number 2 the program se whole oina convert togani. Ka aduga point number 3 automatically save togani aduga madudagi point number 4 da execute directly to yagani. Okay, this is the compiler. Interpreter, it read one statement of a program. That is, in the compiler, it convert all the and read all the program as whole, but it only read one statement at a time. Translate into machine language and execute it immediately. And it also do same as it also act same as the compiler in this executing and in executing. After that, it continues to read, translate, and execute the statement one by one until it's reached the end program. Therefore, it is slower than a compiler. This is another point. Which one is faster? That is, the compiler is faster, interpreter is slower. The machine code produced by the interpreter is not safe. So this is another point, another difference. In compiler, it is saved automatically, but in interpreter, it doesn't save automatically. This is the second point, difference of the two. To execute a statement again, it had to be interpreted again. So this is the point number 3. In compiler, there is no need to be interpreting again and again, but in interpreter, it need to be interpret or translate again and again. So it comes 3 points of difference between a compiler and an interpreter. So can you mark out what are those 3 differences?
First point is that an interpreter reads and translates and executes it immediately. And second point is it is slower than compiler. And third is it doesn't save the machine language.
Automatically. And what about the compiler?
Compiler is faster than interpreter. It saves it automatically, and a compiler translates a program written in high level language, machine language.
You didn't say one point which I want you to say, Sally.
It reads the whole program and translate the complete program at once.
And once, Tachi.
Compiler automatically set the machine code and execute directly.
Okay. Let me remind you again. In compiler, there is no need to be converting the instructions again and again. But in interpreter, it needs to be read the instructions to translate again and again. Okay, this is the main difference. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
After that, assembler. What is assembler? Assembler is also a type of programming language. So the an assembler translate the assembly language into a machine language. Okay, an assembler translate a program written in the assembly language into the machine language. It recognizes the mnemonic code. There should be a code, but doesn't see there is we doesn't see there is a code. But you said mnemonic code. Use in the assembly language and substitute the required machine code for each instruction. So what are the code used in the assembler? Then what will you say?
Mnemonic Mnemonic code.
Mnemonic code. Okay. So after that, language translator. Language translator saruk sira kaya thona khai do I say what are the divisions. So compiler, interpreter, and assembler. You should know this diagram also. Figure 1.11. Okay. After that, system utilities. So system utilities perform some specific tasks related to the maintenance of computer hardware and data. So it used to maintain the hardware and software of the computer system. This is the point one. They are used to support enhance and secure program and data in the computer system. This is the function of system utility. Underline this. And underline the second line also. The common function of the system utilities include file management, backup, data recovery, virus protection, and disk cleanup. Underline this sentence, these two sentences. So if someone asks what is the function of a system utilities, then you can answer this one. Some common system utilities are disk defragmenter. So how many of you know how to defragment a disk? And what is defragmentation? Doesn't know. So I give you an example. I've given you 10 mesh boxes and I said to stack up and make a big box. Okay. Haibadena no hida maru makir box makir box tara pire aduga masisina lon sanaraga na koise box so wam semo harebako. Adudagi aina makir box amom the satwe. Kara hangal hoidra. There will be some space, isn't it? We only have aduna moise space khara kala leitra adu space to kandana bai damokta niction duine bako adu niction bai thabok tuni koina defragmentation haije aru tawta gadi na koi system tapasisu yankhalakani ko. This is how defragmentation work. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
So what is the function of defragmentation? Then it speed up the computer system to reduce the occupied size when if someone deletes some files from a drive. Yan tabanga miko. Kaiguma kathaki bukota kibi yaw tagadi file spacing do kanna bai damokta defragmentation sijinabani ko. Mathang class ta nishang o defragmentation kamai tawi haru take ko.